Jive Talkin. Jive Talkin. Jive, gonna talk it about Dee Snider and a lot of news. Jive Talkin. Jive Talkin. Jive Talkin. Talking to your grandma late at night on the phone, talking sexy goods. Jive Talkin with Shane. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo episode 32. Full disclosure, as of this point, I can't say what's going to happen next week. I'm done with soda pops, energy drink soda pops. I have a tea here. I'm not going to show the brand names unless they want to give me something for it. And I'm going to have a little sip here, and then we're going to get into the news. Can you see Dee Snider there? If you remember Dee Snider, back in the day, he fought against the PMRC. He came in those tight jeans and his denim on and his hair fluffed out. They said, give me some extra fluff that day. And he walked in, and him along with like John Denver and other advocates for the free speech and against the PMRC. Well, now he's got himself a comic book, it looks like. Whoever's done the artwork here has really added some abs and shit in there. But this is called He's Not Gonna Take It. And it looks like it's a comic book. I thought it would just be like maybe a paragraph or a blurb in the Dee Snider book, but it turns out that it's, well, I guess we're going to find out here, but it looks like it's a comic book on Dee Snider fighting censorship. So that should be an action-packed and an exciting comic book. Dee Snider and Z2 Comics honor his fight against censorship and the PMRC in an original graphic novel. He's Not Gonna Take It. More than 35 years ago, Twisted Sister frontman Dee Snider marched into the United States Senate Committee on Commerce in a jeans jacket. Didn't I just say all this? In a jeans jacket and tank top to confront a band of concerned Washington housewives hell-bent on silencing the howl of metal and beyond. Co-founded by Tipper Gore and the Resource Center, the PMRC had lobbied to plaster parent advisory explicit lyrics labels on music that conformed to their definition of overtly sexual, violent, or drug-endorsing stuff. Partnering with Z2 Comics, Snider War to Preserve the First Amendment will be retold in his He's Not Gonna Take It, a graphic novel charting the rockers' articulate battle against censorship, along with Frank Marafino, Marvel Zombies. Do you know who that is? Frank Marafino. And artist Steve Kurth. Is Steve Kurth the one that gave him the 8-pack abs? Avengers and X-Force. The following journey would forever forge the name Dee Snider alongside the battle of freedom of expression in the arts and beyond. This new graphic novel charts the one-man war throughout Dee's life, from a childhood where he was frequently silenced. Shut up and sit down, your mother's talking. She's telling us about her damn soap operas. Through the early efforts to stifle his band's music, to the opening warfare of the PMRC hearing in the Washington, D.C., and his current efforts on social media. He's Not Going to Take It tells the story of what free speech is so important to this man who has perpetually fought for it, even when it endangered everything that was important to him. Leave my family alone, by God. When I look back, I can't do a good Dee Snider. When I look back, man, on this historic day, I think, how did I fit balls that big into those skinny tight jeans? Dee Snider recounted. Then I reflect on the fact that I still stand for everything I stood for all those years ago, and I'm ready to do battle again. Unless you grew up during the PMRC hearings, I don't think you can really understand what a massive impact it had as a teenager. Watch Dee testify before Congress about the importance of freedom of speech. Editor Rance Hosley explains, metal and rock preach rebellion and fighting back in the song lyrics. But here was the only frontman who was walking the walk. In a world where you thought that adults said one thing and did another, it was the moment where you could believe. Yes, believe, because we had Dee. Yes. There are people out there who will fight for what is right against all odds, no matter what the cost. It's a story that is more vital today than ever. I'd agree with some of that. If you know anything about the those labels, I mean, I bought every record that had one of those labels on it. I swear, it said what was the exact thing? It said explicit lyrics, parental advisory, explicit lyrics. If the record didn't have it on there, I was like, what is this, soft? Is this like first thing I started thinking was like back in the day, Walmart and those stores would they'd sell CDs, but there would be words cut out of them, like they were edited versions of the CD. And so if I didn't see that sticker on there that says, your parents are going to be pissed at this, I wouldn't buy it because I thought it would be some kind of a edited version of it. In 1985, the Parents Music Resource Center, the PMRC, if you listen to Live in the Raw by Wasp, that live album, you're going to hear Blackie Lawless go on about them. Led by Tipper Gore, was trying to introduce a parental warning system that would label all albums containing offensive material. The system was to include letters identifying the type of objectionable content to be found in each album. Who sits down and listens to those? What wholesome soul sits down and listens to those records to go, oh, this one's getting an X on it. This one needs an X. O was for occult themes, S was for sex, D was for drugs, V was for violence, which resulted in parental advisory stickers now found on new album releases with questionable content. The incongruous trio of Dee Snider, Frank Zappa, and John Denver were called before Congress to testify in defense of music. John Denver, I met him once. I was working as a janitor in a pub brewery, kind of a microbrew type place, and he came in, and I just eye to eye kind of nodded and waved, smiled, and that was it. But I was like, holy shit, that's John Denver. And then of course he died in that helicopter crash. But what a sweet fellow. I mean, he sang the Rocky Mountain High, Colorado, and he was in there fighting for the freedom of speech. So that's pretty good there. I don't want to read all this, guys, but there's an image. He's not going to take it. That's not even his face, really, but I think Dee sent this back to the drawing board a couple of times. He's like, is this 8-pack? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I need 8-pack abs, and I need fluffier hair, please. And then put two. As we're learning about them, two daggers, two spears in my hands that have the flags hanging down from it. So there's that. Megadeth, Dave Mustaine. Let's get on to something else. It says, Dave Mustaine blasts lazy bands who rely on pre-recorded tracks during live performances. And I will tell you this right now. I watched the entire performance. I mentioned this the last time at them at Grass Pop. No tapes. They don't have it. They sounded great. Megadeth's Dave Mustaine has blasted lazy bands who rely on pre-recorded tracks during their live performances. In recent years, more and more bands have been given a pass for using backing tracks, drum triggers, and I don't know about drum triggers. That just gives the drums more pop, right? And other assorted technologies that make concert more synthetic, but also more consistent. Speaking to Kerrang Radio at this month's Download Festival in the UK, Mustaine addressed the use of pre-recorded tapes at a live show, saying, I've always done the background singing on those records until maybe about 10 years ago we started having another person come in and help supplement the vocals, because it's just not my bag to be singing stuff that I'm not gonna sing live. I sing when I sing live on the records as much as I can. I don't think there's anything wrong with using supplements for songs and other sounds and stuff like that. If you can't play them live, he continued, if you can play it live and you're being fucking lazy and you're seeing whatever just happened a couple of days ago with one of those big bands and the tape started and the drummer wasn't playing or something, you probably heard about that. I can't remember who it was. Yes, you can, Dave. Mustaine said, apparently referencing a rare mistake by Kiss drummer Eric Singer. It's all on the drummer back there. He's got to be hitting the tapes and stop the tape, put the tape, hit the pap. Just like the Blackie Lawless one we did. And everyone got really mad at me and yelled at me for it. Blackie Lawless went back to the drummer going, bro, what did you do? You messed something up. How about if you're going to use backing tracks for your singing vocals, you damn push the buttons. How about that? During the band's concert in Antwerp, Belgium, earlier this month, that's where the Fonz, he had that clip. That's the clip we looked at, was in Antwerp, Belgium. This month, which revealed what some fans are saying is proof that Kiss is using pre-recorded tracks during its performance. Dave added, we don't have vocals that are canned. Usually what we have is a MIDI click track that runs all of our lights and switches all of our solos and stuff. I mean, that's the stuff I can get behind. If you got some kind of a click track so the songs are perfect and they go with the lights and everything else, that's very difficult to do. I equate the cheating and the click tracks and stuff completely differently. They go like this in my world. They shoot off. It's like a completely different directions, because the MIDI controlled click track is going to be set to the light, so the drummer stays on and everyone else follows the drummer, and so we're all on thing. If you're using the tapes, you've got the guy going, and 3, 2, 1, now say, I want to rock and roll all night and party every day. I want to rock and roll, So there's that. Ever since Kiss's The End of the Road trek launched in late January 2019, there has been persistent online chatter about Paul allegedly singing to a backing tape. The speculation stemmed from the fact that Paul Stanley had been struggling to hit the high notes in many of the band's classic songs for a number of years. Here's another thing, because people still get all over my ass about Paul Stanley and stuff. The reason why I have an issue with Paul Stanley using the backing tracks is because him and Gene Simmons have made asses of themselves over the years talking about other bands. There's a clip that's resurfacing now that has Gene Simmons winning some kind of an award at some kind of music thing. It's not a Grammy or anything. But then he's walking off with his trophy and he turns back to the mic to go, don't use tracks. Give your fans what they came for. Don't use them tracks. Now, that is about 10 years old, so people can change their opinions and whatnot, but they've been vocal critics of anyone using backing tracks, and now they're using them and saying, no, we're not using them. 3 years ago, former Skid Row singer Sebastian Bach defended Kiss against claims that the band is using pre-recorded tracks during its farewell tour, saying that Stanley sang his ass off live. During a concert in California, this is Sebastian, I have seen way more obvious use of backing tracks than with Kiss. And then who'd he spit out? Fozzy. Fozzy frontman Chris Jericho also defended Stanley's vocal performance on End of the Road tour, saying that the Star Child has nothing to prove to anybody. And he doesn't. He doesn't have anything to prove. And I know they're just trying to muddle through the last of it, or get through the last of it, because they're calling it a day. Jericho explained he's one of the greatest rock and roll singers of all time. And I would agree with that. And a great place to hear Paul Stanley be the greatest. I mean, some of the fantastic vocals would be some tracks off of, particular to me, some tracks off his solo record. Tonight You Belong to Me, and there's a couple bangers on there. And then some jams off of Creatures of the Night, where I'm going, wow, he's got it. Paul's always had a great voice. It's just age is catching up. What does he say? I would much rather have him use the technology that's available to not sound like he's hurting himself, which then makes me not enjoy the show as much. Yeah, and then they went back and forth. Oh, what did Nikki Sixx write here? Sixx wrote on Twitter, certain band out on the road right now, putting other bands down and saying that they are real rock band, no background singer, and other old people cranky comments, except his lead vocals are on tape. People in glass houses shouldn't throw rocks. Get off my lawn, Wizard of Oz. I don't know what that means. Who was he after here? Was that Fozzy, or was it Kiss, or what was it? Anywho, so let's. Are you really horned up with the mention of Kiss? Well, guess what? Bing bong. There's Gene Simmons. He's got his hair helmet there, and he's next to Ace Frehley. And this says Gene Simmons, Ace Frehley and Peter Criss no longer have the physical stamina to play a full Kiss show. What was that about the glass house, huh? Kiss bassist vocalist Gene Simmons says that Ace Frehley and Peter Criss wouldn't physically be able to play a full concert on the iconic group's final tour. Kiss launched its farewell trek. Yes, we know all that. End of the Road was originally scheduled to conclude on July 17th, 2021 in New York City, but has since been extended to at least early 2023. The trek was announced in September 2018 following a Kiss performance of the band's classic song Detroit Rock City on America's Got Talent. That's AGT to all you people that are huge fans of that show. In the months after Kiss announced the end of the road tour, fans wondered openly if original members Frehley, guitarist, and Criss, drums, would be involved in the tour, especially considering the apparent recent goodwill between Simmons and Paul Stanley and Ace Frehley. And Ace Frehley's latest all-original album, Spaceman, a title suggested by Simmons himself, features 2 songs the pair wrote together. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. And the duo completed a joint summer 2018 tour of Australia, after which Frehley fired his solo backing band and hired Simmons. Huh, that's interesting. I thought I heard something about that. In a new interview, with Finland's Chaos Sign, Simmons was asked if Frehley and Peter will have any involvement in the Kiss's final concert. He responded as transcribed, "We've tried. I keep trying. Paul and I met with Ace, trying to convince him to come back. He said, 'I want this, baby. I want that.' Well, we can't do that. I asked Ace and Peter to be in the documentary biography, Kisstory, which premiered on A&E in 2021. They said no. They might do it if they have complete control of the edit. I said we can't do that because even we don't have that. I don't believe that for a minute. But I won't control what you say. You can never say whatever you can say whatever you want. The answer is no, both of them. I asked Ace and Peter, come on tour. We'll get you your own room and everything. Oh, like their own hotel rooms? You'll spring for that, huh? Come on out on the encores. Ace said no. The only way I'll come out is if I'm the spaceman and you ask Tommy Thayer, Kiss current guitarist, to leave. I go, well, that's not going to happen. First of all, I care about Ace, but he's not in shape. He can't play the way he doesn't have this. He can't play the way and doesn't have the physical stamina to do that. See, guys, sometimes you think I'm just a moron, but sometimes it's the way this stuff's written, too. Look what we care about them. Look, we care about them, Gene added. We started this thing together, and they were equally important to the beginning of the band with Paul and I. No question. But as time went on, not everybody is designed to run a marathon. Some people are designed to be in a band for a year or two or a few years, and then that's all they can do. And both of them have been in the band 3 different times. How many chances in life do you get? All I know is when I put my hand in the fire the first time, I got burned. I didn't get a second or third chance. Okay. What do you say about that? Do you want Peter and Ace to be there? I mean, I won't be in New York for that, and so I'd love to see some footage pop up about it, but I don't know that it's going to happen because Ace has got a good point. I'm not going to come out. I started this damn band with you guys. You know, how many records did they put out with Ace Frehley? 10 before he was gone? Let's get into a little Queensryche. Our buddy, Todd Torre, our dear friend, Todd Torre. I mean, we don't really know him, but look at him on the train tracks. If this isn't the toughest photo I've ever seen in my life, this guy is saying, yeah, there might be a locomotive barreling down the tracks. You know what? Don't care. I'm going to kneel down here for my saucy, sexy photo. And if that train runs me down, by God, that's what'll happen then. So I like that. Buddy says he's getting death threats because he's in Queensryche. Todd Torre says he got death threats from wackos who objected to him fronting the band. So I wanted to hear what that's all about. In a new interview with Metal from the Inside, Metal from the Outside, Metal all around ya. Current Queensryche vocalist Todd Torre spoke about the criticism he and his bandmates have faced in the decades since he stepped in to the group as the replacement for original frontman Geoff Tate, or Jeff Tate. I cannot look at his name and not want to call him Geoff. I'm sorry, if you spell it Geoff, I'm calling you Geoff. He said, transcribed here, first of all, people have to remember, I was a big fan of this band too, so I get it. People are like, oh no, Christy Garmo, original Queensryche guitarist. Oh no, Geoff Tate. Oh no, Scott Rockenfield, original Queensryche drummer, not playing with them, and blah, 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 blah. I understand that purist mentality. At the same time, if people aren't getting along, or if people just don't want to do it anymore for whatever reason, some people say, oh, they should have just stopped the name and continued on under Rising West. Were they calling themselves Rising West? That's not good. They should use Queensryche. He said, referring to the name he and the other members of Queensryche briefly performed under before Tate was officially fired from the band. Oh, so they was doing some sneak around. Some sexy sneak arounds. You say, wait a minute. You still have Michael Wilton guitar and Eddie Jackson bass, who are very much their founding members of this band. They're supposed to just throw away their legacy and the name, and they've spent their whole lives building up to, because a percentage of the original guys aren't in the band anymore? Question mark. Like, fuck you, bro. They have every right to carry on as Queensryche. They own the name. It's their brand. It's their band. It says band, but you could put brand too, because they sell a lot of merchandise and t-shirts and stuff. Quick drink. Let's have a quick drink. You could probably hear all that muck and guck. Oh yeah, that's the shit. A nice raspberry tea. Let's see. What else do we got in here? Oh, what's it say about Crimson Glory? When I came in, obviously I felt, oh my God, this is a lot to live up to, Torre said. But I already kind of went through that when I was in Crimson Glory. He was in Crimson Glory from day one. There were people saying how awful I sounded, how I don't have the stage presence, how I don't have the richness in my voice or whatever. And it's been 13 years that I've had people making hateful comments about me. I've read the most god-awful comments you could imagine. When my dad passed away, he committed suicide back in 2014. Jeez. I'm sorry to hear that, Todd. I remember somebody saying, I'd shoot myself if my kids sang like that too. Oh, you sons of bitches. But you know what? It's not a reflection of me, how I am as a singer. It's just purely a reflection of them. Maybe they're musicians that didn't get the opportunity or whatever the case is. Maybe it's envy, maybe it's jealousy. People take stuff so personally that they're like, that's my band. I mean, you look at the Dimebag Darrell thing, referring to the late Pantera guitarist who was shot and killed on stage by a troubled schizophrenic who believed that the members of Pantera were stealing his thoughts. Oh, I thought he did it because he was pissed that Pantera wasn't together. Maybe it'll say more. Where it's like, this isn't Pantera, and whatever the case is, some nut job, and there have been instances where I've had death threats made on me. You're gonna eat an effing bullet if you're at this next show. What? You kidding me? People, you got too much time on your hands. Do you imagine someone driving around listening to a Queensryche record with Todd Torre on it and just going, he better not be there, bro? I mean, wow. This person, they're not allowed in. Okay, let's see. What's it? You're going to eat it and have a bullet? To where we've had to notify all the authorities and security with photographs of people and say, this person, they're not allowed in, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's wackos out there. And at the end of the day, we're just like, wow, this is just music. We're just playing songs. What the fuck is your problem? People are so fanatically obsessed, fixated on certain things, and it's creepy. Todd went on to say, I knew that I was going to subject to that kind of online hate, again, even more so, because Queensryche was a much bigger band than Crimson Glory, and Geoff was always the original singer. So it's like, who's this guy? So I just said, I don't care. I'm just going to sing the best to my ability on this day. Never mind, I have my dad's sinus problems, or I've been... He's got sinus problems too? I got sinus issues. Never mind, I have my dad's sinus problems, or I've been talking, my throat's tired. This ain't me, guys. I'm just going to sing to the best of my ability on this day. Never mind, I have my dad's sinus problems, or I've been talking and my throat's tired, and I've been in airplanes and I'm not acclimated, Jesus, these big words, to the altitudes, like whatever. And they want this exact perfect replication of what they heard on the record, which they weren't getting before anyway. It's not realistic. Yeah, get off your damn high horse. Jesus, they better not have done that same thing to a little Arnold Pineda, the guy that's singing for a Journey, or any other bands. I mean, I get it. You love a certain set of dudes and you want them to stay together and keep playing music. But if they don't want that to happen and they want to keep doing the band, you got to kind of roll with the punches. You make your choice at the point of purchase or listen these days. So if you don't like what Todd LaTorre's doing with Queensryche, just don't listen to it. You can go over and listen to Jeff Tate and the Hot Potato Boys. And you can get all that, or you're going to get mad and say that, well, that's not the band. I did get to see Queensryche on the Operation Mindcrime tour opening for Metallica. And they were pretty dang good. Operation Mindcrimes. I've always known that the mirror never lies. Are we sad about this? Here's a story about Primus. Are we sad about this, or are we kind of happy? I mean, no, I don't know if you live in Europe, but Primus cancels European leg of the Tribute to Kings tour. Primus is out doing the Rush album, A Tribute to Kings. And I'm not, I know the album Moving Pictures pretty good from Rush, but I'm not a Rush nut. But Primus, to me, if they didn't play Tommy the Cat and Say Baby, what was the other big hit that they had off the Sailing the Seas to Cheese album? I want to hear them do like 4 songs, and that's it. And I don't think that I want to hear them do Rush, but that's just me. Maybe they do an amazing version. Primus has canceled the previous announced European leg of its A Tribute to Kings tour due to unavoidable logistic challenges. The trek was supposed to see the members of Primus pay tribute to their musical heroes, Rush, by covering the A Farewell to Kings album in its entirety. What do we think about bands that do in its entirety? Sometimes cool, sometimes not. I mean, I'm neither here nor there on it. I've noticed that popping up a lot more, like, No Effects doing the full Punk and Drublick album, or whatever. But the trek was supposed to see the members Farewell Kings, and was scheduled to kick off in Sweden on September 9th. and make its way across Europe before finishing off with 3 shows in the UK and 1 final show in Dublin on October 1st. Late Monday night, June 27th, Primus released the following statement on social media that said, "Hey, baby, do you want to lay down with me? I say, baby, do you want to lay down by my side? Baby, do you want to lay down with me? I say, baby, say, baby, do you want to lay down with me? I say, baby, do you want to lay down by my side? Baby, do you want to lay down with me? I say, baby, I say, baby." Oh, no, that wasn't it. Sorry, guys, I read the wrong thing. We are very sorry to announce that due to unavoidable logistic challenges, Primus has canceled the upcoming European tour dates scheduled for the fall of 2022. Could this be low ticket sales? When I hear the words unavoidable logistic challenges, it's either low ticket sales or they're having some logistic challenges. We apologize. Let's see. Who's saying that? Is this Les Claypool? We apologize to our fans who are planning to attend and look forward to performing in Europe again soon. Tickets refunds will be available at the original point of purchase. Primus frontman Les Claypool recently told the Nashville Tennessean, about why he and his bandmates decided on a farewell to Kings. "We always joked that we were gonna play the Hemispheres in its entirety. And then it was like, well, maybe we should do something like 2112. Seemed a little too obvious. Moving pictures seemed a little too obvious. So, a farewell to Kings seemed like the right choice." Regarding how Primus approached a tribute show, Claypool said, "I was one of those guys. As a high schooler sitting in the audience, knowing every single note, Rush fans are very scrutinizing. They tell you, we were one of the bands. We were one of the only bands accepted by the Rush crowd back in the day when we were touring with them. That being said, it's very precious to a lot of people. We're taking it very seriously, I'll tell you. We've never rehearsed as a band this much in our lives as we did for the Rush thing. We're doing it as close as we possibly can to the way they would do it." As Primus' relationship with Rush fans at each show, As for Primus's relationship with Rush fans at each show, Les said, "There's usually like 4 or 5 people scattered toward the front who are so into it. They're singing all the words, and some of them getting teared up. It's pretty amazing. I know for me, as a teenager, Rush was a big part of me starting out as a musician. I see these people who all these years have been so devoted to the band. To have people have the experience is very endearing." Claypool previously told Rolling Stone that the Tribute to Kings tour was about paying tribute to the band that has given him so much inspiration over the years. What songs are on A Tribute to Kings? Because I know there's a couple good ones on there that I know. Hemispheres was my first concert, Claypool said, referring to Rush's 1978 album and the tour. "Originally, we'd always kind of joke around about doing Hemispheres, but we settled on Kings about... it was the first Rush record I ever heard, and B, it contains Cygnus X1, which has always been a favorite Rush tune. It seems to be a good one for us to tackle. 2112 seemed a little obvious." I know you said that already, but I'm sorry. Well, you'd said it already, Les. Geddy, Alex, and Neil had been superheroes to Larry, Herb, and I. Oh, this is another one. Do you guys want to hear me do just a splash more of Les Claypool? Or are you extremely irritated by this point? Geddy, Alex, and Neil had been superheroes to Larry, Herb, and I in our teens. So
When we all became pals while touring together in the early 90s, we were pretty delighted. Partially because of the musical geek out factor, but mostly because the three guys whom we had admired so much from afar turned out to be truly great, down-to-earth humans, and like us, a tad eccentric.
What was that one? My Name is Mud. I like that song.
So I kicked him out of the cranium with an aluminum baseball bat. My name is Mud.
And then you can see this image here, and they're on stage there, and he's going, I saw the drummer. I don't know, is that Alexander? What's his name? Yes. Yeah, Alex. No. Herb? I can't remember. The original dude that was on the Sailing the Seas of Cheese, he was in a band called Laundry. I saw them at a small club in a small town. I mentioned that before about him having an endorsement deal with one company and putting duct tape over the logos of another drum set. Guys, this is going to be it. We're getting into your comments here. Yes, indeedy, it's that time. I've got things to do. I've got laundry to do. I've got garbage to take out. I'm making a nice rigatoni tonight. It's a three-way cheese. It's got ricotta cheese, it's got some mozzarella, and it's got provolone. Then, of course, you've got your tomato sauce and your meat if you're into meats, and not if you're not. But and then I'm going to be making a Parmesan and garlic French bread for dinner tonight. So I'm very busy. I've got things to do. We're going to get through this. It looks like we got 4 victims. Friends here. And wouldn't you know it, the Fonz. The Fonz right there at the top. Here we go. You wanted the best, you got 50% less. The biggest sham in the land, Kiss. Music from the elderly, starring a fat bat. Oh, my heavens. B. Arthur with the throat infection and 2 cosplayers. He's not wrong. Now, with the addition of fake vocals and Screechy Stanley, only $7,500 for meet and greet. Is that true? Only $7,500. He might be slightly escalating those numbers, but I'm thinking he's pretty close, because I think this. Let's finish it. It says only $7,500 for a meet and greet and $21,000 for a guitar, and I believe that is true, because Paul Stanley sells his guitars. He breaks one at the end of the show, or at least he was doing that, and then he gives it a little kiss with the red lipstick, and then he gives it to a fan, and they pay $21,000 for a broken. I'll tell you this right now, Paul. Don't break the damn guitar. If you're going to break it, I don't want to buy it. I don't buy broken things. There's your heart. Fonz, we love the Fonz. We go over there. You can go to his channel and find all sorts of delicious and interesting nuggets of stuff. All Kiss goodies. And sometimes I don't even know where he's finding this stuff, because I'm always looking. The Dumbstruck Fool. This is Miss Althea coming in. The Dumbstruck Fool says, lemon lime soda, brand name, generic or otherwise, mixes great with blackberry whiskey. Is that the brandy? I used to know this guy. His name was Guy Bell. Recorded, he's probably long dead now, but he recorded my first band's demo tape, and it was in his basement. And to say that he was creepy would be an underestimation. We're in this other room. It was reel to reel, so he had the tape reels. This guy would get out of the shower and come down to the studio with no shirt on, and water dripping from his hair, from his wet hair from the shower down his back. He would drink blackberry brandy, and he had smoked so many damn cigarettes in the same 2 fingers that it looked like he had jaundice on his fingers there, because the smoke just sits and floats, and he'd be at that mixing board, and it's like, the recording didn't sound much better, I'll tell you that right now. And he wasn't like a big time guy or anything. He was just a dude that was doing something. But I want to know, is that blackberry brandy? Tastes like fruit punch, I bet. See, and the problem with something like that, a lemon lime and blackberry brandy, I drink a lot of them. And you don't even know that you're schnockered until you're schnockered. Your Doc McGee sounded very Maxwell Smart. Yeah, what was that fella's name? I used to watch Get Smart. I liked all them weirdos from the 50s and 60s and early 70s shows, like what was it, Paul Lynn and Rip Taylor and all of them. I was like, look at these weirdos. Maxwell Smart, which for me just compounded the question of why has Peter been relegated to the cone of silence and not been privy to any conversations? And all anyone needs to do an impression of Ace is a high-pitched, whiny Bronx accent.
Yeah, what you gotta do over there?
I don't know how the Bronx accent would go, but that makes sense to me. Just really high-pitched, whiny, but it's got to be New York, right?
I saw a spaceman on my lawn.
I don't know. Still, Miss Althea here. I would love to have a peek at Desmond Child's financials. Yeah. What with his mile-long list of writing credits on epic rock songs, why doesn't anyone reminisce about his own fledgling project from the mid-late 70s, Desmond Child and Rogue? I'd never even heard of that. Bonus points for riffing Belle Biv DeVoe. Yes. Only a few people are going to get that. Poison. That girl is poison. Which I will take over Alice Cooper's Poison any day. Don't get me wrong, I love Alice, but not that song. Yeah. I think if I remember, I didn't mind that album, and I didn't mind that song very much, but I felt like that was right after he put out Raise Your Fist and Yell, I think, and that was just a heavy metal record. And I think it was kind of one of those, why is he twisting like that? He's going more kind of glam or whatever? I don't know. Let's see. Still, Miss Althea here. Large fries, pie, large coffee, now. Forget Beavis and Butthead. All hail Mr. Anderson. Oh yeah, that's where he got it from, right? Because Beavis and Butthead would torment that neighbor. That was Mr. Anderson. And then he turned Mr. Anderson into Hank Hill. Yes? Someone in the comments, please. Still Miss Althea here. Holy effing moly. I think El Estepario Severiano should endorse Red Bull. It gives you wings. Yeah, that dude is just with finesse and speed and fury. You should go check out his dang Instagram if you have it. Or I think he's got a YouTube channel too. So check that out because he's got some serious juice. Finally, Miss Alfredo, the actor you were struggling to remember was Lou Gossett Jr. Yes. Was he in Eagle? What was it called? Eagle's Nest. Now I'm forgetting the name of the damn movie. But yes, Lou Gossett Jr. He was in A Gentleman. I can't remember all these damn movies. But he's been in a lot of them, including the fantastic Jaws 3, where he's the he runs the park there, and then Jaws comes through that big spoiler alert. Jaws comes through the plate glass window, but then you realize, wait, I think that's the movie, isn't it? Where it's like, that's not Jaws, that's his mother. Oh my God, and she's 40 times bigger. Anyways, there is your heart, dear lady. Mike Buchanan coming in, throwing this one out there. That opening song's best one yet. Okay. The opening song that I did on the last episode. Thank you. And he's got, is this our joke? Okay, maybe not. Here, let's keep going with Mike Buchanan here. I've heard the new Megadeth song and I like it. Spoiler, this Sunday I am doing, so tomorrow I'm doing my review of that on the first listens of We'll Be Back. Crossing fingers for a memorable new album. I'm thinking Kiss. Here's still Mike Buchanan. Guys, I am just so scatterbrained today. I've been like sinusy issues and all this stuff going on, sinuses. And so I was looking online and I saw this drink that's like lemon juice, cinnamon, olive oil, what was it? Oh, raw honey in hot water and mix it up. I just had that before I did this episode. It was terrible tasting. Iron Eagle. Okay, I just saw this from Mike Buchanan. So to answer the question about the Lou Gossett Jr. movie, was Lou Gossett Jr. in Iron Eagle? And I believed that I liked that one better. Oh, here he is, Mike Buchanan answering the question. I think you're thinking of Louis Gossett Jr., Iron Eagle. Yes. Still Mike Buchanan. And for your Jive Talkin of the week, tables are not very easy to understand unless you're a short person. That's a slow burn joke. It will sneak up on you. And one more. So he's given us a twofer here. Where does Batman go to the bathroom? The Bat Room. Same bat time, same bat channel. He's delivering them off. Guys, I wanted to tell you real quick, too. This is very off topic, but you got to find this guy. Look up. I had about a 2-hour laugh session last night. It's those cable access prank calls. People calling in to people that have a cable access show. And the guy is an African-American fella. He's got glasses on and some kind of a head thing. You can hardly see him in the screen. It's just his head. But my God, I want to say his name's CB something or other. But go through until you hunt him down. Look up cable access prank calls. You will have hours of enjoyment. I'm telling you, because these people, they're doing their cable access shows, and these people are calling in and just, oh my goodness. But there was one guy in particular, I just laughed for like an hour straight, man. My guts were hurting. So look into that. There's your heart there, Mike Buchanan, and Jolly Jake Lavelle coming in. Do the Universe was okay. Oh, Beavis Butthead, Do the Universe, which is on Paramount Plus, that doesn't work half the time, was okay. Enjoyable, but not memorable. Thank you, Jolly Jake, for that one. And that is it for this episode. We'll leave it right there on Dee Snider with his 24-year-old body on there. And we're going to do this. Here we go. Let's see. Come on, baby girl. Let's do a waltz. Yeah, we'll get a nice... yeah, we'll do that Mario thing. Jive Talkin with your pal Shane. It will get inside your brains. It will make you love harder. It will make your brain so much smarter. Jive Talkin with Shane D. Get your heart rockin' news for